Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. And it's Friday, so happy Friday. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about PCOS and eating out. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I recently moved, and right now, the last week has been really tough in terms of eating well, or eating, how I usually eat. So I've had to kind of, bend my way of eating a little bit so that I can actually get some food in. And it can be hard sometimes when we're stressed or we have a lot going on to kind of stay eating healthy. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about some things you can consider and places you can eat out. I'm in Canada, so I live in Ontario. I actually moved from Toronto, specifically North York, to Whitby. So if any of you live in Whitby, please comment. Let me know where are any good spots to eat. That would be great. But essentially, the last week has been a lot of eating out, and so I thought it was a good opportunity to chat about like how to eat out with PCOS, because I know it can be difficult to find places, and it has been difficult for me too. I've definitely eaten more carbs this week than I normally eat, and I have, haven't had the opportunity to eat like proper like meals, but once I get settled into this new home, I think it will be better and I'll be able to get back on track. And the one thing I just wanted to tell everybody and just remind you is that it's okay to like not always be eating exactly how we think we should be eating when it comes to PCOS. It doesn't have to be perfect. Life ebbs and flows, and so be mindful of that, and be mindful of the fact that sometimes you're not going to eat the best, and that is okay. So these are some of the places I've eaten the last few weeks, or sorry, the last week, not last few weeks. So Freshie is actually a really good one here in Toronto and in Ontario. I usually like to get their Oaxaca bowl and then add a little bit more kale. I don't really like the beans, and then add protein to it, and maybe even bring the rice down a little bit just so I can get a little bit more veggies in there. It isn't dairy free, so I usually get the cilantro lime dressing on there. And then also, oh, thanks so much for joining and listening. I really appreciate it. Oaxaca bowl at Freshie, and I just add a little bit more veggies like carrots, I think I put in there. Instead of the beans, and there's something else. There's crispy wonton, so I take that out. So when it comes to like eating out, finding a place that has bowls can be really helpful. A lot of places now offer bowls. Like for example, Pita Pit. The other day I went there and they had bowls. There was another place, a Mucho Burrito, like any burrito places, they can probably make you like a taco bowl instead. So a little bit of rice, veggies, protein on there. So there are some places that can be really helpful in terms of staying dairy and gluten free. I mean, I'm dairy and gluten free. Not everybody needs to be that way, but typically what I find with PCOS is eliminating or reducing dairy can really help the symptoms associated with PCOS. Gluten, on the other hand, I feel like it really depends on the person. So how do you know you have a gluten sensitivity? Well, if you have any digestive symptoms after eating gluten, that is definitely a sign that you could be sensitive to gluten. If you're getting any rashes like eczema, that's another sign. But definitely bloating, gas, diarrhea, even constipation, even just upset stomach, fatigue is another one that can be associated with gluten, and overall just not really feeling the best after eating gluten products. And the only way to really know is to take the gluten out and then to keep it out for at least 4 weeks and then put it back in and see how your body does. You will find that if you're okay while taking it out and you're okay while putting it back in, you're probably not that sensitive to gluten. But if you take it out and you put it back in and you start to feel bad again, maybe you get bloating, gas, any digestive symptoms, then it is important to kind of keep it out or keep it minimal as much as you can. And then, so I am dairy and gluten free, and the reason why is dairy, I find that it actually impacts my skin. So whenever I eat dairy, I do get breakouts. And then gluten, I kind of had like some digestive issues with gluten, like just kind of upset stomach, but I didn't really notice it until I took it out and put it back in. And the only reason why I kind of took it out was I did a stool analysis, and the stool analysis came back with saying that I had high antibodies to gluten. So this was like the one sign. So I ended up taking it out. And this is the GI map by Diagnostic Solutions. It's the comprehensive stool analysis. 1 second. And basically what it told me was that I was creating quite a bit of antibodies, so my immune system was reacting. So I wasn't having like huge symptoms, but I found that when I took it out, I felt much better, less inflamed, for sure. So experiment with that. So I've been looking for gluten-free places here, but a lot of places offer gluten-free. I went to Pita Pit and got a gluten-free wrap, which was really nice. I even went to Firehouse Subs and got a gluten-free sub as well, so that was nice. Even though I've been eating more carbs, I'm trying to still make sure that it's gluten-free, which is really helpful that so many places offer that. Where else have I eaten? I said Freshie. Oh, and I actually had pizza. So I went to Pizza Nova, and they had a gluten-free crust, which was actually really, really good. I found that it wasn't falling apart, which a lot of gluten-free products can do that. And they have like a vegan cheese, so dairy-free cheese that you can put on top, which actually didn't taste too bad. I'm not sure which cheese it was. I usually don't really like eating Daiya cheese, but I wonder if that was Daiya cheese, but it actually tasted pretty good. So Pizza Nova for that. I won't lie, I haven't had as much vegetables this week. Somebody brought us a whole plate of veggies with like hummus, and I've just been kind of snacking on that throughout the week, which is really helpful. But not like big salads, which I think I really just need a big salad right now, or a smoothie. So I just need to get some ingredients because we're just setting up our fridge now and moving some stuff from the last fridge I had over to here. But yeah, whenever you're going to eat out, don't be afraid to ask for your being dairy and gluten free. Don't be afraid to ask them if they have options, because a lot of places do have options. When I was in the States, because I know a lot of you are in the States, one place I really enjoyed eating at was Sweet Greens. And I know there's locations everywhere there. It's kind of similar to Freshie here. And I felt like a lot of the bowls were really like packed with vegetables. So, if you can find a place that has bowls, that's great. But it's okay to have a burger here or there, pizza. I want you guys to know that you don't have to be 100% perfect in terms of the way you're eating. As long as you're trying to like really aim to eat well at least 80% of the time, then use that 20% of the time to eat things that you really, really enjoy. And I mean the foods that you eat in that 80%, which is healthy foods, really pick foods that you really enjoy. Yesterday I was having a conversation with a patient about how do we create a meal plan in the week and like really stick to it. Well, number one thing I usually tell patients is start with one thing for 1 week. If it's going to be breakfast that you're going to focus in on, then start with breakfast and really plan that out. Know exactly what you're going to eat. If it means that you're going to, use lunch or dinner instead, and you already make dinner anyways, make more for dinner and eat it as leftovers the next day for lunch. And also, if you are looking to try new recipes, I do have a Pinterest board, so you can check that out. And there's quite a few recipes I have on there. But basically, in the recipes, find one recipe a week that you want to try and just make that one recipe. Keep everything else similar to your meals before, because if you make too many new recipes, it can also get overwhelming. So that's what I would suggest. We have a question here, so I'm just going to see what somebody is saying here. Yeah, so hypothyroidism. So she's saying that she's confused that they say that PCOS and hyperthyroidism are not good with soys and sprouty vegetables like broccoli and cabbage. Is that true? Yeah, so these are cruciferous vegetables. They are we are told that these vegetables have a higher amount of goitrogens, which can impact the thyroid. However, in the research, it actually shows that it only affects the thyroid at very, very, very high amounts. So, if you're eating broccoli a few times a week or cabbage or whatnot, it's not going to impact the thyroid in terms of hypothyroidism. So definitely eat vegetables. Someone asked me the other day too, like, what are good vegetables to eat? Any vegetable is a good vegetable to eat. Choose the ones you like. Don't eat the ones you don't like. Don't force yourself to eat things that you don't like. Find foods that you enjoy and really embrace that and love the foods that you're going to eat during that time, because it's honestly, if you're going to struggle through it, you're going to become really resentful in terms of what you have to do in terms of keeping your PCOS in track. So great question. But yeah, in terms of vegetables, any vegetables are great that are non-starchy. So if starchy vegetables, we're talking sweet potatoes, which are still okay to eat. It's more related to a carbohydrate in that sense. Yeah, and I love cabbage too. My mother-in-law makes this red cabbage salad with apples, and it tastes really, really good. So yeah, I actually ate that too. I ate some home food, which was nice because my parents brought me some food too, which reminded me of my childhood, which was really nice. But it was rich in lentils and rice and potatoes, so very carb heavy. And I didn't have any real vegetables to eat on the side because I hadn't gone grocery shopping yet. So, still starting to settle into my new home, and hopefully soon I'll be able to get back on track. But I just wanted to come on here and say, it's okay not to always eat the best when it comes to PCOS. And when I say best, I'm talking, more foods that impact our blood sugar and our insulin, and really just focus on the fact that, at this moment in time, this is what I'm dealt with, and I will get back to eating in terms of a way where I know can be better for my blood sugar and my insulin resistance. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope you guys have a great Friday and a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.